Good morning, everyone. Hello. Good. Hi, Emma. How are you?
I'm good. How are you, Marvin?
I'm great, actually. I'm excited for
Good.
this webinar. Our second time together.
I know. Here we are again, a few months
Here we go.
later.
Yeah. Time flies so fast, right? Like
I know,
it's
it's
more.
true. It's
Anyway,
true.
good morning, everyone. Yeah, hello and welcome to our open virtual week. So again, hello and welcome, everyone. Welcome to EIT's Open Virtual Week, Day 4. So I will be your host today. My name is Marvin, one of the course advisors here at EIT. And yep, of course, I'll be your host. Thank you so much for being with us today, virtually. And we are thrilled to have you join us for this exciting week of knowledge sharing, networking, and insights of the world of the engineering world. Okay, so before we actually start, we would like to request everyone to please confirm if they can actually see and hear us, and of course view the slides on their screens by sending us a thumbs up, okay, in the chat box. This will actually help us ensure that everything works before we begin. Thank you so much. Okay, good morning from Africa. Good morning. All right, cool. Thank you so much, Itonia, Gunyayi, thank you. Mugalo, thank you. Oh, you can hear now, Mugalo. That's nice. Okay, great to hear. Okay. How about the others? Can we see some thumbs up in the chat box if you can see and hear us and view the slides on your screens? It's cool. Thank you so much, Brian. Hassan, thank you so much. Okay. Mm-hmm. Thank you, Pangyu. Simeon, thank you. Thank you so much. All right, cool. So, yep, just a quick note on housekeeping, everyone. So, if you haven't done so already, we actually recommend turning off those unnecessary notifications or distractions on your devices so that you can fully immerse yourself in the session. And we would also to encourage everyone to participate in the, by asking questions. So, the Q&A session will be held at the end of today's presentation. So, please feel free to drop questions in the Q&A section at the time during the webinar, and we will, together with Emma, we will address them at the end of this session, okay? So for today's webinar, that would be an overview of EIT's undergraduate programs. This will be presented to us by Emma Hart. She is our higher education manager. And yeah, we will allow her to introduce herself more in a sec, okay, in a little while. So yep, so for those who just attended to this webinar, or for those who may not be familiar with EIT, so we are a global leader in providing higher education and training in the engineering and technology fields. Our mission is to equip, our students and professionals with practical industry-related skills, empowering them to, to, sorry, okay. So this is for the common queue. Okay, my apologies for that. So again, yep, so I'm empowering them to solve real world engineering challenges. So yep, where was that? Okay, that's it. So we are an engineering specialist. So if you say engineering, it should be EIT that comes first into your mind. So we are one of the institutions that provides or specializes in engineering courses. We offer a wide range of programs, starting with our professional certificate courses, our diplomas and advanced diplomas. We have our undergraduate certificates, bachelor's, graduate certificates, and graduate diplomas, masters, and doctor of engineering. So these programs are actually in this, industry-oriented programs, okay, just to make sure that after completing your studies with us, your skills and knowledge will be valuable to employers, and of course, open wide opportunities for you guys. Okay, so our programs are higher education programs, and our vocational programs are accredited by the Australian government, as well as our programs are recognized under the three international accords, and these programs are delivered to us by industry experienced lecturers. Okay, so Yep, and then these are being delivered through a unique delivery model, which is through our live webinars and, of course, international pool of experts, lecturers, dedicated learning support officers, and state-of-the-art hands-on workshop and remote laboratories and simulation software. So I just forgot to mention, so for those who were asking actually for a copy of their slides and PDF, we will be sending that to you in the next business days. That will be on Monday and Tuesday, April 14th and 15th, for those who have registered. And for those who stayed with us until the end of this session, we will be giving up a we will be providing a certificate of attendance, same date. That will be on the 14th and 15th of April. Okay, so yep, we will provide you the instructions at the end of this session. Okay, so yeah, without further ado, let me give the floor to Emma to introduce herself more, and then of course discuss us or provide us information about our undergraduate courses. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Marvin. Okay. All right. Let me just, okay, so as Marvin said, I am the Higher Education Manager here at EIT. I am based in our Perth campus in Australia, so it's lovely early afternoon here. So good afternoon to those who are over here, and also good morning on the other side of the world. My background is not engineering, so I am not an engineer at all. My background is in languages and linguistics, and I'm actually originally a high school teacher. I then switched into administration, and I've been working in higher education for quite a long period of time now. My role here at EIT is to oversee our higher education programs. So I look after all of the support that we'll be talking about today, the courses themselves, making sure students are enrolled and are in their units and are successful and succeeding through their courses. So I oversee all that side. So let me just, okay. So what I'm going to do is run through our courses in a not too much detail, but enough where it will give you an idea of exactly what our courses are about in the undergraduate side of higher education. So I'm going to start with our undergraduate certificates that we have. So we have, as you'll see there, a variety of undergraduate certificates. These are all online. So all of our undergraduate certificates are online courses. We do not have these on campus. The undergraduate certificates are a certificate consisting of 4 units. And students can do these either in one semester. So we run our undergraduate programs in semesters. So there are 2 semesters each year, about 6 months each, and that includes your teaching weeks as well as study weeks, and then any break weeks over those 6 months. So some students will do these over a 6-month period, and they do all 4 units in one 6-month period, and then are completed within one semester and have an undergraduate certificate. Some students do obviously take a little bit longer. So if, of course, you are working, doing 4 units is extremely difficult and it's a lot of work. So some of our students will choose to do 2 units. Some of them will choose to do 1 unit. It depends on their workload and how they are going. You will see on the right-hand side what I've listed is the AQF qualification. So this is the Australian qualifications framework, and you will see undergraduate certificates listed on there underneath the level 7 that we have there. So these are essentially part of the same level as our bachelor programs. The good thing with an undergraduate certificate, if you are not sure about what you want to do, you're not sure if you want to do a full bachelor degree, you may have been away from study for a period of time. So a lot of our students have been working in industry, they have jobs, and then they decide they want to go back into study. but it's very difficult. I will say I'm about to embark on my MBA, my Masters of Business Administration, and looking at the number of units to study is difficult, and deciding should I do 1 unit, 2 unit, 3 units, and so on, because working full time is difficult whilst you're also studying. So some students would be away for a while, and that's like me. I think I finished my degree some time ago. I won't say how long because that will give away how old I am. So students who may not have been in education for a while, aren't sure, sometimes start with the undergraduate certificate. The good thing with these certificates is if a student then decides to continue on to our bachelor programs, then the units that they will complete in the undergraduate course will be credited into the bachelor. So the 4 units that you would do in each of these streams would then transfer across into the bachelor, so you would not have to repeat the units. You'd have them credited across, so you are starting your bachelor with 4 units of credit already. Now, if you choose to just keep your undergraduate certificate, perfectly fine. And a lot of students do that. They complete their certificate and then they continue working. Some people do often get promotions from having these certificates. Some decide to then do further study along the way. So there's a range of things you can do with these certificates, but again, each student is very different. And we often have students who will do these. They will then go away, go back to work, study full time, work full time, but then maybe 6 months down the track, a year down the track, they may come back and say, hey, I've decided that I would now like to do my bachelor program. And again, those 4 units that they completed in the undergraduate course would then transfer across into the bachelor. So you don't have to do the bachelor immediately after. Okay, so if you then take a break and come back, those 4 units will still be credited. So good thing to know that you're not having to repeat the units or do anything extra. You get the credit for those units. Now you see there is a range of areas within the undergraduate certificates. So we have the streams where we have our civil engineering, electrical. We do have an engineering foundations. Now this consists of 4 core units in our bachelor, and a lot of students who aren't 100% sure which stream they would prefer to go into, because may have experience in electrical as well as industrial automation. They can do the foundations and then make a decision from there if they would then like to go into a specific stream after that, if they are going to do the bachelor course in there. So you've got each of the streams and the foundation. You'll see the structure there. As I said, it will it's over a semester, so there are teaching weeks included. You'll see there we've listed there's break weeks where there are study breaks, there's exam weeks, and then of course you've completed from there. So again, you will find if you enroll in these, the units that you are completing, because they are the same units as what we find in the bachelor. Within the unit, you will be studying with other students who are in that undergraduate certificate, but you'll also be studying with students who are already doing the bachelor course as well. So you get to make those contacts. You can talk to those other students who are doing the bachelor if you are thinking of then progressing and continuing on with the bachelor, and they can give you their experience as well. So your classes will be a combination of bachelor and undergraduate certificate students. So that does take us on to the bachelor. This is offered on campus in Perth, where I'm located in Australia, and also as an online course as well. So you will see there we have the 4 streams, the civil, electrical, your industrial automation, and your mechanical engineering, those 4 streams. For the majority of the first year of units, a lot are common units that students will do, and then as they progress through their second year, third year, then we stream off into other specific units to your stream. So the civil engineering students will then focus on civil, mechanical, and so on. But you will often find that for a lot of the core units, there will be a mix of students. So you could be in a class with students, again, from the undergraduate certificate. You could be in a class, if you're doing, say, civil engineering, you may also be in the class with mechanical engineering students, industrial automation, electrical, for those core units that we specifically have. So a range of contacts that you will get in there, different experiences, different students, and so on. So it is a whole range of people that you get to meet as you are studying here. So as I said, we run these online in semesters still, but we also have our campus here in Perth where we run our bachelor courses here as well. So we do have international students, see, who are here on student visas in Australia, as well as local students. So we have local Australian students who may also come and choose to study on campus instead of online. Our online students can study again in part-time. So if you were a full-time student, you would complete approximately 9 units over the year. So you'd have one semester with 5 units and your second semester with 4. But for part-time students who are online or Australian students on campus, you can choose part-time. So again, if you are working, doing 4 or 5 units is a lot of work. So you can choose to drop that down to 3 units, to 2 units, and so on. There is a maximum duration, so you cannot study your degree forever. You can't be taking 25 years to complete your degree. So if you can't do 1 unit a semester for the entire duration, you would have to then do more units. So I think you have approximately 8 years to complete the full degree. We do have students who do take time off in the semesters. So for example, you start your course, you do 2 semesters, and then there's something that's happening maybe at work or personally, and you need to take time off. You can defer that semester and then you can return the semester after. So it is quite flexible. Now, the bachelor courses also include what we call 0 credit mandatory units. So as part of these courses, there is a range of hands-on workshops that students have to complete. We run these workshops here in Perth, and we do run them sometimes as well at our South African office as well. So these hands-on activities, which I'll talk about a little bit later in a bit more detail, give you more practical hands-on experience, and they are all compulsory to do. The other unit that we have is the industrial experience. So all students need to complete 240 hours of industrial experience as part of their degree. Now, if you are working in the industry, there is a high chance that you will be able to apply for RPL, recognition of prior learning. So a lot of our online students who are working alongside studying do apply for RPL. So if you are doing your degree in civil engineering and you've got work experience within the civil engineering field, you can apply for both the industrial experience and the workshops to be credited. We're not going to make you do these units and these hours if you already have that experience. But for students who do not have that experience, then these workshops will need to be completed, and the 240 hours of industrial experience will also need to be completed in order for you to graduate from your program. So all students will need to do this within the Bachelor program. Now, those units are not in the undergraduate certificate, only in the Bachelor course. So something a little bit different that EIT has compared to a lot of other universities and institutions is what we have, or what we call our learning support officers. So for every unit that you will study, you will have your lecturer, so who will deliver the content and who will be able to answer all of your technical questions. But alongside that, you will also have your learning support officer. Now, they may not like me saying this, but essentially these learning support officers are like your personal assistant for that specific unit. These guys look after all of the administration and support around the units. So they will be reminding you when you need to submit assessments, if you have a problem accessing the learning management system, any of the materials, you've got questions on when to submit things or how to submit things, then your learning support officer will be there to help you. So we have learning support officers around the world. So we have them based in our campuses in Perth, in Melbourne and in Brisbane on the east coast of Australia. We also have our learning support officers in South Africa and in the UK as well. So these guys work around the world and they are there to support you for each unit. So if, for example, you had 3 units in a semester, you obviously will have 3 different lecturers. Each unit is different. And for learning support, you may have the same learning support officer for all 3, or you could have 3 different learning support officers. But they are there to work with you and help you get through your studies. So any question that is academic related, anything about your specific content of your course, your lecturers are there to answer those questions. But for everything else, your learning support officer is there to support you. So if you are having difficulties in getting things done. So you are working, you're doing lots of hours at work, you're struggling to get your assignments done. Learning support officers are there to talk to you and help you through that. They can help you apply for extensions to assessments, but they're there to listen to you. You will find that they will contact you regularly, just checking in, seeing how you are, making sure everything's okay. So I always say to students, never be afraid to contact your learning support officer. They are there to support you from beginning to end of your journey. So you'll have a range of learning support officers throughout your course. And again, you may see the same learning support officer many times. You may have a variety of different ones, but they all do the same role and they are all there to fully support you from very beginning of the unit right through to the very end. So any of those questions, they are always more than happy to answer. What we also have is our student services team. So these guys work alongside the learning support officers and they offer a range of additional support. So they also run what we call our student success workshops. Now these workshops are scheduled throughout the semester for our on-campus students, but also for our online students. And they range in topics. So there are some workshops that are more academic related. So it may be on how to do research. There could be writing workshops and how to write reports, referencing, how do you reference? But then they will also range into health and well-being. You know, if you're struggling with your time and you're not feeling great, your well-being is not great because you're trying to study and work at the same time, these guys will be running sessions on how you cope with that and they will give you tips and tricks and things to do. So there's a range of these workshops throughout the semester. We also have, what you'll see on the bottom there, is the English for technical professionals. Now, a lot of our students will go, what? I'm here to study engineering. I'm not here to study English. No, of course you're not. But this course that we have is a fully online English course specifically for students and professionals in engineering. So the idea behind this course is to assist you with things again, such as writing, looking at white papers and being able to research, presentation skills. So one thing that you'll find throughout your entire course, whether it's the undergraduate certificate or whether it is the bachelor program, is there will be presentations as part of the assessments. Now, for some people, presentations is easy and they love to get up in front of the room and present. But for some people, it's quite difficult. And some people may have not done it before, and some people may have not done it for a very long period of time. So this English course also has, again, different techniques, different tips on how to present. We do also run sessions specifically related to this English course. So, for example, if you're working through the English course online and you get to a section and go, oh, it'd be really good to have a bit more information and help on this section, we do often schedule workshops that work alongside the English course and help. And sometimes I run those. So as I told you, my background is teaching. Is teaching languages, and English also was one of those languages that I taught to speakers of other languages. So I often run workshops to assist. So we'll be looking at the content in the English course, and then we'll be running and looking at examples. So the idea is not to give you more work to do, but it is there to support and to help you. Students often look at the course and find a specific module and go, okay, I've got a presentation coming up in the next few weeks, so it would be really good. Let me have a look at this section, and that may help me. Or it could be, I've got a report to write that's due in the next few weeks. Let me look at the section on report writing, and that will help me to prepare as I go through. So a range of workshops. We also often say to students, if you're looking at the Success Workshop schedule and there's an idea that you have, but it's not on the schedule, please do let us know, because we get the best ideas from our students. You tell us what you need, and if you said, I really, really needed a session on this, we think it would be useful, then our student services team can work that into the schedule. So we love to take feedback from students on what they would like to see as part of these sessions and workshops. So with the learning support, as I've mentioned, we've got our support officers, but we've also got a range of systems that you use throughout your course. So our learning management system is Moodle, and this is where you have all your unit material, your assessment, your grades, everything is on Moodle. We use Big Blue Button, which is our webinar software. So a little bit like what we're doing here on Teams. The software we use for our live webinars is Big Blue Button. We also have Iris invigilation. So our bachelor programs, our units in our bachelor programs do have exams. And of course, the normal traditional way to do an exam would be sitting in a big room with everybody else in silence, doing your work and doing your exam. What Iris does is allows you to do that on your laptop from home, and it invigilates you there. So it basically watches you and records you as you're doing that, so we can see and make sure that you are completing the exam on your own without any additional help as well. You do also get access to Microsoft Office. We've got there as well Paradigm, which is our student management system. That is where you'll see your units that are enrolled. You also have your payment information, that type of thing through there. One of the other things we have is also our remote labs. So I will talk about the remote labs in a bit more detail as I flick to the next one. Oh, we have that no sound. Can everybody else hear me? Are we still okay for sound? Or is it just the one student who can't?
Yeah, I can still hear you, Emma.
Okay, all right, we'll continue on. Okay, so as I mentioned earlier, we do have these practical hands-on workshops. So as I was talking earlier, we've got these in addition to our theory units as well. So we do a range of things. We've either got the hands-on workshops, and you'll see here, this picture is actually our civil engineering students here in Perth doing their hands-on workshops. At the campus. So we run these generally through our study breaks, and students will come onto campus, and it can be our on-campus students doing them, but also students from around the world who need to complete these do come and join our sessions for the practical workshops. So a lot of when you're studying online, obviously there's a lot of theory. It is not the most practical. So we do have these workshops. What we also have, which I'll talk about next, is our remote and virtual labs as well. So I'll click on. So with our remote and virtual labs, what students are able to do is to book a time in, and you either have the virtual labs where you log in and you virtually can control what is happening. So instead of being, in the workplace practically doing it, it's online. But we also have our remote labs that are actually connected up to real-time equipment where you can watch and see, and you can move things as well. So studying engineering online is still practical. So students can book in for our remote and virtual labs at any time. They do book up, so we've got a range of students obviously who are using them, so you do need to book in to specifically use them. You will find that through your units. A lot of your classes and your lecturers will be talking about completing these. So as part of your study weeks, your lecturer will be asking you to go and do a specific remote lab or virtual lab. So it is also part of your teaching. So your lecturer will be working through those with you as well. And then you can always log in and do more practice. It may be related to your assessments. The one thing I will always say is never leave it till the last minute. If it is part of your assessment, make sure you're booked in so you don't miss on getting a place at the right time. Okay, so just moving on to our entry requirements, fees and payments. So obviously entry requirements, it depends on your qualifications, where you're from. So I won't go through every single one in detail because we'd be here for the next 6 weeks, most probably. So you can find all of those on our website, okay? For the fees, you will also see on our website, you'll be able to see what the fees are. There are a range of methods where you can pay and options. So for Australian students, you are able to use Fee Help. And for those that aren't sure what Fee Help is, this is basically where you defer your fees and the government essentially pay your fees, and then you will slowly pay that back after, but this is specifically for Australian students. There are also installments available, so if you can't pay everything up front, there is possibilities for installments, not for our on-campus international students, unfortunately, but for our online or domestic students. They are a variety of options. We've also got partial scholarships as well. So if you go to our website, you'll be able to have a look at the scholarships that we have and what we offer. And then you could also apply for those as well. So it gives clear instructions on the scholarship, the eligibility for that scholarship, and then how to apply. So I won't go into details because we don't want to look at every country. Well, as I said, we'll be here all week, but if you do go to our website, you'll be able to see the specific entry requirements for you when you're from your country, as well as the fees, options for fees, and so on. What we do have with our lecturers is that they come from around the world. So not all of our lecturers are based here in Australia. Our lecturers are everywhere and anywhere. So you can see this is just a range. This is not all of our lecturers, but this just shows you that we literally have lecturers from around the world. The brilliant thing about our lecturers is that they all also have industry experience. So they are not just academics, they have been working in industry and in a variety of industries for a long period of time. So they are able to bring real world experiences into the classroom and can talk about the theory and applying the theory into real life scenarios. Also, having them around the world helps when we are scheduling classes. So it is obviously impossible to schedule classes for every time zone around the world, but we do try our best to try and accommodate as many students as we can. And having our lecturers around the world means we're able to do that. So we can run a specific class at, it could be midnight in Australia, but it's only afternoon over in Europe and morning over in the US as well. So having our lecturers around the world makes them much more flexible when we're running and scheduling our classes to try and accommodate as many students as possible. So you may find when you're in your classes, your first lecturer is based in maybe Sydney, Australia, and then you go to your next class and they are based in Brazil, and then your next class they're based in Alaska. So you will have lecturers from around the world which will be giving you different experiences, different real world experiences and industry experiences from different people around the world. So we pride ourselves on the fact that we have our lecturers around the world, but also that they are industry experts and not just academics. So they are able to help and apply everything that you're learning into real world scenarios, which is amazing to have. So it's still carrying on talking about your lecturers. I talked earlier about the learning support. On the other side is the academic support. So when you are having questions or you have questions specifically about the content, we've got your lecturers available, as I said, from around the world, but we also have our course coordinators who are based mostly within Australia, who oversee each specific course, and they're always available to students. So they will help you with any of those technical questions. They also run our workshops that I talked about that we have here in Perth and sometimes in our South Africa office, but they can also help with any questions on the remote and virtual labs. They will also talk to you about work integrated learning, which is when I talked about the industrial experience and helping with getting you connections. So we actually have a work integrated learning coordinator who will help students who need to do the industrial experience and aren't working in industry and need some help. So we will help you with the connections that we have. We'll work with you and where you are to see if we can help within your country to get you a specific internship. For our on-campus international students, we'd also then really help place you guys into a specific workplace as well. So that's all done through our academic and work integrated learning support. So whether you're on campus, or you're online, this support is available to you. So you've got the academic support as well as the student and learning support from the learning support officers and student services. So I think Marvin's been posting, I think I've seen a few times in there as well. of getting
Yeah,
your
thank you so
certificate.
that's right. Thank you so much, Emma. So yeah, as part of our webinar today, we'll be opening our floors to some to questions from our audience. I believe we have some here which I already answered, Emma, but maybe we can discuss a
Yep.
little bit about this one. So yep, I let me just open this up. Let me see. So someone was actually asking if I complete this is from Simeon. Okay, if I
Mhm.
complete advanced diploma, am I qualified to continue into a bachelor's degree online? And of course, what are the requirements?
Yep. So if you've done one of our advanced diplomas in the same stream that you want to go into in the bachelor, yes, you can use that for entry into the bachelor, and we do give credit. So there is a range of units. I can't from the top of my head remember each one, but from the advanced diploma into the bachelor's, there is a number of units that you would have credited. Now, you actually don't, for those ones from our advanced diploma, so from the EIT advanced diploma to the bachelor, you actually don't have to apply for recognition of
RPL.
prior learning.
Exactly.
We automatically apply this. So, of course, when you apply to the bachelor, we know that we can see that you've completed an advanced diploma, and we will automatically apply the credit. So you will then get a document that clearly shows which units will be credited for you to accept and sign, and then we will automatically apply. So you don't need to supply any documents, fill in an application form. From EIT advanced diplomas into the bachelor, we would do that automatically for you. So it's a yes to your questions there.
Yeah, just a follow-up one, Emma. How about those students who have advanced diploma outside of EIT and wanted to, yeah.
Those, yeah, so those ones, if it is an advanced diploma that is not EIT, then you will need to apply for recognition of prior learning, and our academic team will assess that. And the reason why is each advanced diploma at different institutes is different. So we know from our own EIT advanced diplomas, we know exactly what is in those, and therefore what you're able to get credit for and the equivalent within the bachelor. But for any advanced diplomas outside of EIT, we would need our academics to assess. So chances are high, but it really depends on the advanced diploma and the content of each of your individual units. But chances are, yes, you probably get some credit. It may not be the same as what we give from our advanced diplomas, because again, each qualification is different, but you can definitely apply for RPL and it will be assessed.
Yeah, someone also okay here. A follow-up question from Simeon. Am I guaranteed to go to work overseas after completing advanced diploma or bachelor's online? Example, I am from PNG and want to go work in Australia. So that's from Simeon.
So if you do, obviously you're doing the online program, I mean, like you have that added qualification to be able to apply for a visa for Australia. I can't guarantee that you would get a visa. Unfortunately, I am not the Department of Home Affairs, and as much as I'd love to give out those visas to our students who are amazing and will be
That's
able to
true.
work, that would be fantastic. But there's a much better chance having that qualification. Our courses, our bachelor courses online and in Perth, all streams are accredited with Engineers Australia. So that does go a long way. So you would have that accreditation as well, which may help with your visa applications. And what have
Answers
I
your
got
question,
there?
Simeon. And we also have here from Etonia. So I was a student of EIT doing Bang, uh,
Yep,
being. I stopped
the
for a
BNs,
while
yep.
due yep, to some challenges. Can I get back in?
You probably can. It depends how long ago you were doing it. I would suggest if you contact HE support, and we can add that in there, I can add the email in there. Atonia, if you send us an email at HE support, we can have a look at that and see when you were last studying with us, see what your options are, and we can contact you and give you those options to help you. So we'd have to look at your file. It really depends on how long ago it was that you studied. So it was 2 years. Yep, then you can generally come back. We would obviously need to look at the units that you have completed. So our bachelor course actually changed in mid 2023. However, the units that you completed would be credited over to the new course. So we can definitely have a look at that. So yeah, if you want to send us an email, I will have the admin team specifically look into that and see what your options are, what credit you'd get from what you've completed and so on. But yeah, you are very welcome to come back.
Yes, please feel free to reach HE support team for that one, Itonia. So we have here Lindo.
Brilliant. Thanks, Marvin.
So I am civil engineer from Mozambique. What is the requirements to study? So I believe he was referring to the master's pro, I believe, because he was a civil engineer in Mozambique.
So if you are currently a civil engineer and you're thinking, I'm assuming you're looking at maybe the master's program, we actually have the presentation on postgraduate courses in about an hour and a little bit, which I'll be doing that one if you want to join that one. So please come to the masters if that's the situation. Depends what
Lindo.
your question is on requirements to study
Yeah.
and what's that.
Yeah,
Oh,
Lindo, please feel free to contact us here. Yeah, our course advisor team will be able to, happy to assist you with that one. Okay, so I'll be posting our contact details later. Okay, so we have one here from, oh, another one from Lindo, Emma. Do you have a beginner course such as English?
we don't have English courses, unfortunately. We have, as I said, once you're enrolled in the course, we have our English for technical professionals, but that is not a formal English course. So as much as I'd like to say yes, unfortunately, we don't have English courses. So a lot of our students who do need to improve their English would go and do an English language course somewhere else and then maybe apply after that.
Yeah, I think it was mentioned as well, Emma. Like we do have like partner schools. Can you enlighten me
Yes.
with that one?
Yes, so we actually have, there's a variety of schools that we do work with that run English courses. So we could give you the information of those. You can do your English course there and then transfer into EIT from there. So obviously we've got the external English tests like the IELTS, the PTE, but for some of the schools that we partner with, we accept their final certificate. So then you don't have to go and do the other English specific tests because some of them aren't very nice. So yeah, there's a range of those and we can definitely share those with you
Yep.
so you can improve your English before you come into your engineering course.
All right. So Emma, you're still good. We still have one more here. This is from Kelvin. Does EIT offer any sponsorship or scholarship opportunities for individuals who already hold a bachelor's degree in electrical electronic, but are looking to further studies or enhance their skills through your programs? I am from Kenya. How will that affect my working? So that's Kelvin.
All right, let me have a look. Who
It's a good
already
Q&A.
hold a bachelor's degree. Okay, so you are looking to further studies. Okay, so if you already have your bachelor degree and you're looking obviously to further your studies, so then if you wanted to come in and do our postgraduate degrees that we have, yes, the scholarships that I mentioned, those partial scholarships, do also apply to the postgraduate program. So you'd be able to have a look through those, see which one fits your situation best, and apply for those. Now, I'm not sure what you mean by would that affect my working. The scholarship applies to our online students as well as our on-campus students. And if you're studying part-time, that's okay as well. So you don't have to be studying full-time for the scholarship. We have a lot of our students who have been given our scholarships who study part-time. So if that helps.
All right. Let's see if we have other more questions, but I think that's the last one for today, Emma. So yeah, we still do have few minutes left though. So if you have any questions, guys, please feel free to put it in the chat box or the Q&A section so that Emma and I can answer that one for you. Okay. See. Okay. All right. So, yep. I think we don't have any more question, Emma. I think that's it. Um, yeah, Eva, thank you so much for that insightful session. I really appreciate that one. Even if I'm working as a course advisor, I was actually enlightened and, um, I was able to gather more information about our undergraduate courses now, and I'll be able to share more to our future students. Thank you so much for that one, Emma.
No, thank you, Marvin, and thank you to everybody for joining.
Yeah, thank you so much, everyone, for joining us. And yep, so for everyone's attention, here's the certificate of attendance. Okay, for those, here's the link. So basically, it will lead you to a survey form which you need to complete, and then after that, you'll be able to receive the certificate of attendance. Okay, so you can scan the code on your screens, and also I'll be posting that on the chat. Just a sec, so that everyone can. Okay, okay, here. Right? So that's for the certificate of attendance for today. All right. So thank you so much. And yeah, we'll see you in our next webinar. Thank you, Emma. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Have a good one.